Welcome back. In the last video, I left this particular problem as an example for you to try. Hopefully you had a chance to try it. Let me walk you through the solution of this particular one. So I have a system of linear equations, 3 equations and 3 unknowns. And what I just want to do is repeat the process the last example. So that just means I put it in an augmented form, write down the augmented matrix, which I've done here. And now I want to row reduce this matrix and put it into echelon form. So I have a 2 in here and a 1, and I want to get rid of them. So I'll just write down the resulting matrix here. So 1 minus 3, 1, 1. You can check my calculations later at your leisure. But I'll tell you how I got this matrix. This matrix here comes from row 1 times negative 2 plus row 2. And this row came from row 1 times negative 1 plus row 3. And then I've got a column of zeros. So this is my leading entry and a column of zeros. I move on to the next column. And I want to use this 5 and kill everything below it. So this is going to be equal to, or row equivalent to 1 minus 3, 1, 1. 0, 5, minus 4, 0, 0, 0, 0, 2. Oh, and this should have been a negative 2 up here. I apologize about that. A negative 2. And this came from row 2 times minus 1 plus row 3. So that was the first part of the procedure, is just take the augmented matrix and put it into echelon form. And I'll just circle the leading entries here so we can see where they are in this particular example. Now the next thing that you're supposed to do is take these equations and turn them back, take this matrix and turn them back into equations. So the first row gives me x1 minus 3x2 plus x3 is equal to 1. The next row gives me 5x2 minus 4x3 equals 0. And then the last row gives me 0 is equal to negative 2. And as you're probably thinking, what? That's not possible at all. Did we do something wrong? Okay, did we do something wrong? Well, in fact, we didn't do anything wrong at all. What we found here is that this system of equations, the one at the top, and let me scroll back here, has no particular solution. So geometrically, probably what's happening here is this describes 3 planes in R3, and the 3 planes don't intersect at a particular point. Probably one of the planes is parallel to one of the other planes. So this ties into some of the stuff that we've seen before, because on the first day, I talked about how any system of linear equations will have either no solution, it has exactly one solution, or it could have an infinite number of solutions. And remember, we use this terminology. We said something is inconsistent if it has no solution, and it has exactly one solution or an infinite number of solutions if it's consistent. And the nice thing is that the shape of the echelon form of the augmented matrix actually will determine which case that you're in. So if you're given a system of linear equations, you put it into an echelon form, you can actually tell which of the 3 cases you're in. You may not actually know which particular values work, but you know which of the 3 cases you're going to be. So let's look at how the shape determines the answer. So what if there's no solution? What should we expect in that case? Well, in that case, what you're going to find is that the echelon form of your matrix is going to end up with a row, has a row of the following form. So there's going to be one row where you have a bunch of zeros, and then in the column where it's corresponding to what things are equal to, you're going to have a non-zero entry with b not equals to 0. And if you think about turning this back into equations, what this is saying is 0 times x1 plus 0 times x2 up to 0 times xn. That's all going to be equal to 0. which is equal to b, right? So there is no solution. And we actually saw this in the previous example, right? Let me take my hand here and move back over here. I have my matrix, it's in echelon form right here, and I have a row of zeros and then a non-zero entry in the last column. So I didn't even have to go any further here. I could say, oh, I can stop because I know that there's going to be no solution. So this is one example where the shape of the echelon form is telling me which of the three cases I have. Okay, well, let's talk about exactly one solution. Well, in this case, what you're going to have is that the echelon form has a pivot. So remember what that is. This is a non-zero leading entry in each row and column except the last column. Okay, now this is a bit wordy, so maybe a picture would be a lot more helpful here. So let me just draw you what kind of the shape you should expect that your matrix should look like when you're done. So you'll have some sort of non-zero entry here. Let's color that in. And then a bunch of zeros here. Maybe we have another non-zero entry here and some zeros. And so each row and each column is supposed to have a non-zero entry. So it looks like this. These numbers can be anything, these asterisks, and the last column can be any particular values you want. Okay, so remember the square means non-zero entry, and the star means any value. And of course, where it says 0, you have to have a 0. So this, when you have something of this shape, we have exactly one solution. We have a pivot. So let me circle the pivots here. They're all the squares. You have a pivot in each row and each column, except for the last column. Now our first example in the first part of today's lecture, let's go all the way back. Let's move it over here. It's this matrix right here. And we see that we have a pivot in each row and in each column, except for the last column. And then we actually found that there was exactly one solution in this case. Okay. So what about an infinite number of solutions? What's happening there? Okay, again, the shape of the matrix, the echelon form, is going to tell us what the answer is going to be, right? So the echelon form has no pivot in the last column, and the number of pivots is strictly less than the number of columns minus 1. Okay, so let me just do an example of kind of the shape of the matrix, just like what we did above. So you could have a matrix that looks like this. Here is my non-zero entry. Maybe I have a non-zero entry right here. Okay, so in this example right here, I'll circle my pivots. Here are all my pivots. And what I have is I have no pivot in the last column. And I have, how many columns do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the number of columns minus 1 is 4. And how many pivots do I have? I have 3. Well, 3 is less than 4. So in this case, I have I will have an infinite number of solutions. Okay, so we'll have an infinite number of solutions. So it would be good if you actually saw an example of a problem with an infinite number of examples. So before we just take a break in this video, here is a system, and I'm going to tell you it has an infinite number of solutions. So try to convince yourself before you start the next video that this solution, this system of equations will have an infinite number of solutions. And then we'll also talk about how to actually describe all of those solutions. So we'll pause here, give you a second to crank that out, and we'll look at the solution at the next video.